This is Smoove Conversations with DJ D Smoove. David Boss, how you feeling today, brother?
It's a good day. It's a good day.
Yes, it is. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Awesome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for taking the time aside. I know you're a busy man, and you're doing a lot of great things in the community. So, again, just thank you for taking some time out your day to just sit down and have a conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity to come down here.
Absolutely, brother. So for those who don't know you, I mean, I know they might hear your last name, Boss.
Yeah.
But just introduce yourself. I mean, David Boss. Who is David Boss?
David Boss is a father, like many. I got 5 kids, married. We've been in and out of 3 separations and still together, living the life. We run a company named Emerald Gotcha Gutters, big in the community right now, and just one day at a time, just kind of doing what we can.
I love it. So tell me, Gotcha Gutters. Man, that's a catchy name. Gotcha Gutters. I love that, man. So what do you guys do in that business field?
So we started with gutters. Funny story. It was actually going to be Emerald Gutters. And I told my wife that. And she was like, that's a dumb name. And I was like, what? And so in the same, I'm like, you do better. And she said, Emerald Gotcha Gutters. So that's actually how the name came about. It was in one conversation. I lost that round. So
shout out your wife there. That's a great idea.
Shout out to the ones that make it possible for us, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so we started with gutters, but we're now more focused on water management and mitigation on the outside. So anywhere from the water to the roof to discharging to the floor, like that's where we're focused. That's
awesome. And you guys do more residential, or do you do commercial too?
We're 95% residential at the moment, but we do some commercial projects here and there.
That's awesome. What got you into gutters?
Interesting enough, so I used to do some consulting, and after you run corporate for a couple of years, sometimes it feels nice to kind of mix it up and do something different. And so for the story to make sense, my dad passed away when he was 46 years old.
Okay.
I was just barely coming up on 18, right when you want to start asking your dad those questions, right? And anyway, so fast forward, and a couple of years ago, my mom was up working on a ladder and trying to clean out the gutters, and I didn't know what she was doing, but I knew she needed to get down.
Yeah.
So in my mind's eye, she fell and broke her neck, and I was like, nope, we're out.
Oh, man.
So we got her down, started working on it. You know what, Deshaun, I'd never cleaned out a gutter. I don't think I even knew what gutters were at that time. But yeah, got up there, started figuring it out, and I don't know, some of the next couple of weeks, it just started popping up in my space, almost kind of like that new car that you notice, and then you start seeing it everywhere.
Right.
Gutters started popping up everywhere.
And how long ago was this?
We started Industry Knowledge in 2022.
Nice. Good for you, man. Good for you. I'm proud of you guys. I see y'all all over Facebook. For those who are familiar with what you do, you're definitely on Facebook. You're networking in the communities. I see you in all the networking groups, and you show up. That's most important.
Yeah.
So I just condemn you of that, and you're doing a great thing out there in the community.
I appreciate it. It takes a community to make it happen.
That's awesome. And you also have a team, too. You want to talk to us a little bit about who those guys are?
Yeah, so coming into this business, everybody knows it takes a lot to get a business up and running. I brought a partner. His name's Jamie Kelch, and he's my operations, and he runs everything. Got Julie, Tamara, and Miranda, who run the office. My wife, Shelly, helps with graphics and some of the marketing. And we've outsourced past just family. We now work with the community. We have a couple sales guys, Brian, Justin, and a couple of subs and teams. So we're growing and scaling and making moves.
I love it, man. Congratulations, brother. That's awesome. Completely awesome.
Appreciate it.
Are you from Utah originally?
I am. I started in Park City.
Very cool. And then now your business, is it more in the Salt Lake area there, or are you still in the Park City area?
Our business is based out of Sandy.
Okay.
But we cover from Ogden to Payson to Park City to Grantsville.
Nice.
So pretty good footprint.
You guys do work on the weekend or just Monday through Friday?
We do work on the weekend, rarely Sunday unless it's an emergency.
Nice. Okay. Well, I think it's important for those to kind of know how we met each other too. We're actually networking partners in the Rainmakers networking group there. Shout out Rainmakers.
Absolutely. Shout out to Rainmakers. And
I met David multiple times. You know, we've had great conversations, and again, just appreciate you being here, man. David's been seeing my journey, and I'm grateful for just your support and just the words of encouragement that you give me. You know, I can't forget this one experience I had with you, and you laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
We were at Thao Dixon's. It was his grand opening, and for Dixon Securities there.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm DJing for the event. I'm underneath the tent, and David comes over, and we're chit chatting. But also, it's time for me to transition to the next song. As I'm transitioning, I can't remember exactly what you said, but the hand movements that you did to demonstrate was hilarious, bro.
I felt like you were pulling like a magician stage, and you had to do like 9-10 like different movements just to get everything going. And I was just like, this is a different angle. When you're looking across the room, all you see is the DJ put 4 fingers and they slide everything up. That's it.
Right.
Behind the scenes, you're over there just switch. You might as well have been putting incantations and everything. It was impressive.
Dude, that moment lives rent free in my head. So I appreciate you, man. Dude, are you a music fan yourself?
Yeah, I'm the sort that appreciates and love music, but I'm a little bit inadequate at producing it myself.
Okay.
But when you can listen to what people have created, or whether it's live, I love it. I love music.
Who's some of your favorite bands or groups?
Present probably The Score, Imagine Dragons, Two Steps from Hell. Some older bands, probably Christy Berg. Almost everybody knows Christy Berg when you tell them it's Lady in Red at prom, but nobody knows who the artist is outside of that.
That's awesome. And then you say you got into producing a little bit there. I know you have. You've been messing around with some stuff. Come on, you got to tell the people. You got some cool stuff out there.
As far as music, I haven't ever produced anything to make it to public or anything like that. But I used to kind of do some overlays. But I only got so far, and that's why I think I was so impressed with watching you work the equipment. I was like, this takes a whole nother genius of mine to produce this.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, when you were growing up as a kid, were you the type that was listening like on vinyl, the Walkman, CDs? You know, what was your style? A-tracks.
A-tracks, young enough, old enough, however you want to say it, to be in that era. Used to be that you could flip the song or the A-track as long as you won a match at pool. We'd go over to my Uncle Hank's house up in Silver Creek, and that was the time, every weekend, listening to music and watching the guys play pool. That's cool.
Now, I got to ask, you say you got 5 kids?
I do have 5 kids.
What's it like being a father of 5?
I think it's an honor. It's hard. It's hard some days, but I think it keeps you grounded. It definitely keeps you moving. 0 through 10, those are some of your favorite years to really be there and bond with your kids. 10 through 20, I think that's where your patience and your love comes through, because it seems like at 5 there's always one a month that is growing, and I think as a father that's hard to sometimes juggle the responsibilities of work and life and growth and be there for your kids.
Makes sense. Let me ask, I have 2 kids, so having 5, that's more than double than I have.
Yeah.
What are some of the cool things to do, out there in the community with your kids, like amusement parks or some of the activities that you might want to take them to that they enjoy?
My kids, maybe they're strange, I don't know. They seem to enjoy doing the business activities that dad can do, because it's kind of like taboo, right? You're a young kid and you can't get out there, but sometimes I can take them out to networking events and they get to see what it's like a day in dad's world.
I love that.
And sometimes, like we did the Wish Foundation, or the Christmas Wish, this past Christmas was my first time ever doing something like this, and there was a lot of families in need over last year, and I just happened to bump into these families, so we were out to raise $25,000. We raised $13,000. My kids were instrumental in part of that, and at that point some of them were kind of not appreciative of life, but going through that journey with dad and mom, it changed their perspective of what they had versus other people.
That makes sense. That's very good of you. I mean, to put them in different situations, different rooms, where they can learn and grow from dad.
Sure.
And then the people who dad network with, I think it's highly important, and I don't think it's done enough, if that makes sense.
I don't think, Deshaun, nowadays it makes sense to most people. We're so busy. Dads are gone most of the time. and their children are raised by our amazing wives. But it's nothing to replace what it's like being out there with Dad. And Dad's out there really shouldering the world, trying to bring comfort back to the family. But for a kid to be there sometimes with Dad, that shifts their whole focus, their whole world.
I agree. Man, touching my heart right now. What's some of your favorite things to do when you have just David Boss time?
David Boss' favorite things to do is skip to Europe for a month.
I love it.
And just me. That's a lot harder to do when you're in everyday life and father. And so outside of my 4 years, every 4 years, I like to go to Europe and just spend a month by myself. On the weekends, it's reading. It's reading and just appreciating where I'm at right now and being with my family.
I love that. Why Europe?
It's so far away. There's no ties on who you are. You get to be you. So when I went there the first time, I was supposed to have a couple buddies. They all chickened out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go figure this out. And it's always been a refreshing experience. I'm no longer me. I don't have the clout. I don't have the relationships. I'm just a regular guy.
Right.
And I'm in a world where even my language doesn't have preference. I don't know what people are saying, and it's liberating.
I love that. Let me ask because I've never been to Europe, but I want to go.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's other people that's listening that want to go as well. What's some of your favorite activities to do out there?
It depends if you're going by yourself or whether you're going to do it with your significant other. But I'd say if you're in the more adventurous, go to the hostels.
Okay.
The hostels are. My last trip cost me $2,200 for 5 weeks. Ate like a king, had fun. We went everywhere. You do a lot of walking. Bring some good shoes because you're gonna walk.
Okay.
But I loved going where not so much the tourist side but where the locals were.
Makes sense.
Like we went to Romania, and Dracula's castle is not nearly as cool as Dracula's citadel.
Wow. Okay.
It's where Scorpion King 1 and 2 were filmed.
Had no idea.
Oh,
that's awesome, bro.
Seeing trebuchets that they used to use, just seeing more older history that's not as prominent here in the U.S.
Right.
But the people, you're getting to learn different cultures. The food is incredible, but be careful in Hungary because there's gut religion.
Okay.
Like they literally like little judgy on how much water intake you do with food you eat and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful, like how much water you're drinking and how much food you're intaking?
So I went to a buffet.
Okay.
A buffet obviously means something different to an American than to Europe. And it was fine on the food, but when I started asking for these little like 10-ounce Coke bottles, once I asked for my third one, the waiter literally left me, and I had to get a new waiter.
You're kidding. Because you said no, too much?
He didn't like how much liquid I was drinking while eating. Because it goes against their gut religion. It was wild.
Usually that's a rule, like at the bar or something. Like, hey, you had too many of these. It's time to slow down.
Yeah, apparently.
Right.
No liquor though. It's just like just liquid.
Exactly. That's hilarious. Okay, well, good to know. I definitely still want to go out there. I'll just make sure I'll be careful on my gut intake.
I think Travelocity was the best tool. It gives you the top 10 do's and don'ts when you go into a different country.
Makes sense. Shout out Travelocity.
Shout out Travelocity.
Outside of Europe, is there any other places in the world that you've been that you really enjoyed?
I haven't been anywhere else outside of Europe.
Okay.
Been to Eastern Europe mainly. Did a little Cabo, but not the same as actually going and touring and taking the trains and going around. Makes sense.
Make you feel like an actual citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
That makes sense. I bring that up because I spent some time in Jamaica, a few months there actually, and it was the same. It's different from the resorts than actually being in the city, where you're literally immersing yourself, with the people, with the dialect, the broken English, the patois is what they call it there. Eating curry goat, all of the things that we're not really used to eating out here in the States. There, it's really cool to see how these other countries just do their way of life. So I really appreciate you sharing that experience there.
Yeah, absolutely.
In Europe. Now I'm excited. Now I got some good feedback on where to go. I want to see the Scorpion.
The Citadel.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Just outside of its Borashov.
Look at you. You know how to say it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Dude, talk to me a little bit more about just got your gutters there. Because I'm looking at you right now. You suited and booted. You got your outfit on. You representing.
Yeah.
Where do you see you guys growing into?
So we're out to solve a problem on the water side of homes. So interesting things for listeners. In Utah, there's no gutter codes. So nobody has to install your home correctly. There isn't a set way right now. We're hoping to set that standard because, this is important. This is where one of our biggest assets in life that protect our family is your home. If it's not done correctly, it'll just leak into your home, go into your foundation. And a lot of people won't install it correctly. They don't really care about the water management. It's more about how many they can get done in a day. And ours is like, no, let's do it right. Let's make sure that as a county, as a state, we do it right here. We actually, interestingly enough, fly to Connecticut twice a year.
Okay. Because
over there, they do practice water management gutter codes. So we take all the same practices from there and bring it here.
Good for you guys. That's smart.
Yeah.
You're thinking outside the box.
We want to be something different. I've already probably interviewed with over 80% of the gutter companies here. Just because when we were first getting started, we wanted to know what should we be doing, the do's and don'ts. And it was really interesting to find out, it's construction to some degree. So it's like, not everybody's trying to make a difference. Some people just want to go and take care of their family, and that's all right. But we want to make a difference.
Very true. That makes sense there. Well, where can people find you? Where are you at so that people can get in contact with David Boss with Gotcha Gutters?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. We're pretty prominent on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn. We're based off of 8759 Sandy Parkway out of Sandy, Utah. We have our own little shop there that you can stop by and say hi, and building our YouTube presence.
Awesome. Where can we find you on YouTube?
I believe that the handle is still just under Emerald Gotcha Gutters.
Okay. Same with Instagram too?
Yeah.
Emerald Gotcha Gutters.
Yep, Emerald Gotcha Gutters.
Awesome. No different spellings or anything like that. I know we're in Utah.
It's true. No, Emerald Gotcha Gutters.
Okay. Awesome. Well, David, man, I appreciate you coming to the show today and spending some time with us. I'm proud of you. Keep up the amazing work. I look forward to seeing you growing more in the community, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, on that note, guys, this is Smoove Conversations with D Smoove. You guys just listened to David Boss, and we appreciate you guys listening. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you.